this is TikTok Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today in this reading about what Jupiter in Cancer is bringing you. Jupiter is entering Cancer on June 9th of 2025 and leaves June 30th, 2026. This is a very exciting time, a very abundant time because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So we can be seeing just a lot of abundance this year across the board. In this reading for you, we will be looking at what areas of your life is going to see the most change or be most impacted by Jupiter in Cancer, the theme for your year basically in it, and then we will look at specific blessings, challenges, and surprises, and we'll end the reading with some general advice from Spirit just about how to navigate all of that. So we have 4 readings today for you, represented by these ice lily highlighters. So for pile 1, we have this pink ice lily. For pile 2, we have this yellow ice lily. For pile 3, we have this cool green ice lily. And for pile 4, we have this blue ice lily. Please pick whichever pile resonates the most with you. And if you need additional time, feel free to hit pause and look at each of the piles more closely. And without much further ado, let's get started. For pile 1, thank you so much for joining me today. So we're going to start here, the Astro Oracle card to show what area of your life is most impacted by the change. And then we're going to pull tarot to show kind of your starting energy and your end energy as well. So we have 55 transits, climate. Okay, so what's your starting energy on this? The 7 of Pentacles. And where are you at the end of this transit? And we have the Hermit. This obviously really interesting, right? So where Jupiter in Cancer is gonna impact you, what I'm saying is obviously like this everywhere. Transits, it's moving, it's big, it's small. Looking at your astrology, it would be worth it to see if Jupiter in Cancer is transiting anything major in your birth chart, any strong positionings. It could also be like a personal signal as well, or any other major transit times. But what I'm seeing for Jupiter in Cancer, so you're starting out here as the 7 of Coins. That's someone who's planted seeds and they're waiting and they're persevering, and the move to the Hermit. Your life is going to look very different. Very different by the end of this transit. You know, the coins are represented with different skulls. So there's 7 moving to 1. I think a lot of change is going to happen, and it's going to be less about what's being planted externally and a move towards your internal growth. I don't know if this group is also maybe going through their Saturn returns, but I am strongly sensing a move inwards on it. Even in the center of this card, it's like a person and they're wrapped around the center. I think you're moving through a time of external validation, external growth to one of internal shadow work, moving into. And I've also drawn another oracle card to show a major theme or your energy during this time. Ooh. And it's 30 partial to one side. So this card talks about about moving in a way that doesn't necessarily make sense. There's not like reason or like practical steps that show, but a strong internal knowing and moving. And yeah, I think that's represented here, as I said, with transit. There's no like specific one area of your life where you're going to be feeling this Jupiter transit, but I think on the whole, you're going to experience a lot from small to big changes that are going to lead you towards a reconnecting, a strong connecting to your higher self, your intuition, and just really being able to connect with your voice and moving authentically in that, even if it doesn't necessarily make like logical sense or sense to other people around you. So now we're gonna pull some tarot cards to look at blessings, challenges, and any surprises coming to you over the course of this Jupiter transit. So what blessings can pile one look forward to? So we have the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Wands. I'm gonna put this up here actually. What challenges? Oh, sorry, I'm just like playing around with these. What challenges may I face? Page of Cups. The Magician. And what are some surprises, things that Palo's not going to see coming during this transit? We have the Star. And the Empress. So obviously started with you as the Seven of Coins here. I do think this is really, you guys are a really hardworking group. And kind of jumping to your challenges for this year, is sort of adapting to the changes and magic of life. The Page of Cups is like, it's an interesting card, and in the Rider Waite here we see it's like a fish coming out of a cup. It's creativity, it's spontaneous, like being really open to new things. And the Magician, it's the manifestor. They are creating things. And I think a lot of things are going to be changing and moving in your life. Many of them, I think, they're going to feel strange and external, but they are actually, divine movement, divine thing. They're not going to be directly tied to actions and work that you're putting here in in the physical realm. And I think that's going to be hard for you. It's going to be a challenge for you to embrace those changes. Um, Maybe because they're so different, they're so out of the comfort zone, or like you're rejecting it because you haven't felt like you've earned it because they've really kind of come out of nowhere. Um, I think that um, that'll be your biggest challenge, sort of accepting and moving, sort of being kitty on the wheel movement with these kind of things that are going to be happening all over the place. For your blessings, these are both 8 cards, so it's success, completion, energy. I feel like for this group, if you've been working on a goal and maybe feeling like plateaued, um, during this transit, something's gonna click and you're gonna like quickly achieve and exit that plateau. Kind of using like weight loss like the example. So you've been working out, you've been going to the gym, you're eating, and you've lost and you've kind of reached this plateau. And no matter what, you like can't seem to lose any more weight. You're just stuck. And you're gonna be like, should I be doing something different? Should I push myself differently? Um, and, and then kind of just out of nowhere, you drop like the next set of weight. Um, the opportunity and the blessings are that, yes, with the Eight of Swords here, it's like don't do anything different. You're doing the right things. It's just a matter of time. And then when the change comes, when your manifestation, when like your goal is going to hit like a stride really quickly. And I see like a big goal, a big thing that you've been working on, coming to completion during this transit. Now, for surprises, um, it's like a little bit weird. Be like a surprise is a surprise of the year. With the star, that's how I sort of take the star though. It's like a miracle. It's something that like is so far away that it happening now would be like out of nowhere. Like, let's say you were trying to like get a promotion. You're like, okay, well, in order to be like this director level, I have to first like I have to, become a manager, and then I have to work in this department to get that experience, and then I can go and be this director. Like there's a lot of steps to it, and I'm saying like that you are gonna cut the line on something, like something that you thought was many steps, many years down the road is gonna show up like immediately, and it's gonna feel like a miracle. Um, and it's like a little, it's and again like to the challenges of like sort of accepting these kind of like coincidence synchronicities. I think a lot of them might be smaller term, but there's gonna be like one big one where something you felt like you wanted, you were gonna work towards, but in your like plan, it was a 5-year plan, and there's gonna be this big thing that condenses the plan. And with the Empress, I think something's gonna surprise you is for some of you, it could be a birth. If you're not looking for a baby, maybe someone close to your life is gonna have a baby. Another thing is potentially like a significant glow up in your appearance. So maybe you try something out, and it looks like you are compelled, and you think, oh, what would my hair look like short or blonde or whatever, like you're gonna make a change and it's gonna have significant impacts. Maybe something you do want to learn, maybe it's like a costume for a thing, like, but I'm seeing like either, yeah, a glow up, like physical change that you didn't see yourself doing or like happening, um, and or potentially a baby in yours or someone close to yours like life. So um very exciting. So we're gonna pull from the Moonology Oracle deck. Oh, we're gonna pull from the Moonology Oracle deck to get some advice to help you traverse this transit. A full moon in Libra, a win-win outcome is forecast. And the new moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate. So both of these cards are kind of speaking to relationships, probably romantic ones. Romance, new romantic. So that could be something else Spirit wants you to know, that maybe about a new love or a relationship of that way. But the general guidance of this card is to evaluate and sit with your feelings on things. When these new changes come in, how do you feel about them? And like maybe something that seems like good on paper, is that something that's really making you happy? And the idea that you are able to balance, others and yourself. I think as you're moving through into this hermit energy, it's important to take time to sit with yourself, constantly be checking in, especially when so much change is going around. With Libra and the new moon in Pisces, like letting things fall away, because with every full moon there's a new moon. I think that's kind of the general message for you. Getting like wheel of fortune energy, this like idea that like things have to end, and only through endings can new things begin. And it's important to remember that a positive outcome is still achievable. A win-win outcome is still achievable, even if things look different. And I know, again, here it's perseverance energy, it's hard work energy, and just because you put hard work into something doesn't mean that if it doesn't come out the way you think, that it's a failure. And it also doesn't mean that we have to continue to tend to a plant that maybe has already died. So, and I think this is going to be a really exciting, a little chaotic time for you. But it's going to be a really good opportunity to really like connect with yourself and, channel what you want into reality, and embrace sort of all of these wonderful gifts from the universe. So thank you, Pile One, so much for joining me in this reading today. It's been a pleasure to spend this time with you. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to hear about new readings, and also check me out on TikTok or Instagram for even more tarot content. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Hi, Bio 2. Thank you so much for joining me today in this reading, all about what Jupiter and Cancer is bringing you. We're going to take a look at these two oracle cards that I've drawn. This first one will represent sort of your energy, or like general theming for the time, and the other will show what area is going to change the most. So first we have 19 Perplexity, and we have 22 Mars with motion. And to clarify this Mars, we're going to pull some tarot cards to see where you are at the start of Jupiter in Cancer and where you're ending. Oh, that was a bunch of cards. We'll try it. So you're starting out here as the Four of Coins. Two cards came out, so we'll just go with that. So we'll have the Queen of Rods and the 10 of Elixirs or Cups. So with Perplexity and the Mars card, I'm seeing that Jupiter in Cancer is bringing you the energy, the drive, the passion to move after what you want. So here and starting going into Jupiter in Cancer, the Four of Coins, and this is a very defensive energy for me. You have resources, limited resources, and you definitely the mindset of like better to just have what I have than to risk things. And with Jupiter in Cancer, I see your passions really being like ignited and driving you to move forward them. Taking on the Queen of Wands, this is fire energy. The Ten of Cups is like abundance and satisfaction. Through Jupiter in Cancer and tapping into this fiery Mars energy, you're going after these things that you want. You are identifying and then holding on and then driving that energy forward. Definitely also look at where Mars is in your birth chart. That probably speaks to the desire where you are playing it safe, and where Jupiter in Cancer is asking you to be bolder and go out there. You know, Jupiter, it has the audacity. I just like it goes out there and knows that it has, and it is abundant in. So yeah, what I'm seeing here is Jupiter in Cancer is going to cause a transformation from a more defensive energy to a very active going forward one. And if you're able to channel that and go after your desires, I'm seeing it being very successful and putting you in a very highly creative and respected space. You know, Court card Queen is a leader. She's looked upon very highly. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing in the general theme. So now we will pull some tarot cards to look at your blessings, challenges, and any surprises coming to you with Jupiter in Cancer. So blessings for group number 2. So we have the Seven of Wands and the King of Coins. For challenges, you have the Six of Coins and the Nine of Coins. And then for any surprises happening, we have Strength and the Eight of Coins. Okay, so for blessings, the Seven of Wands, that is an energy of competition and being on top. So if you're applying to any program, like competitive programs, schools, or maybe you're entering a competition this year, I see you coming out very successful on that. It's not that you aren't, but it is a blessing to have that kind of recognition. And with the King of Coins, I am seeing this as a male figure coming into your life, potentially as like a mentor, or if you are an investor, if you're starting a small business, or like if you're switching jobs, like a new boss, like I'm seeing like a male figure who's here to like help you in an area of like business or developing wealth. It could also be a well-off romantic partner, but I'm seeing them more in a leader and like guidancing role for you. And they are helping you kind of set up for long-term growth. And here, the challenges, these are both Pentacle cards. A little bit up to like Mars energy and fire energy, right? Obviously, it's passionate, it's drive, it's going forward. But sometimes that energy can lead to rush decisions or needing like fast results. So with the Nine of Coins, which is reaping off of long-term, planning and things of that nature, it may be a challenge as you start to go after the things that you want, that you're feeling in energy of, well, I don't have it now. And that may be being discouraging. Particularly like because of where you started, being aware of your resources. The Six of Coins speaks of like generosity and reciprocity. With what I'm seeing, sorry, these are scales. I think there might be a little dip. So as you're moving forward your desires, you might dip and then come back up. So like just because like gambling would be, there's like you go to the casino and you lose $100, and then you're up $100, and so you're like, well, now I'm back at zero, I should just take this and go and like not do it anymore. And obviously you're gambling on yourself, so it's a little more sustainable than gambling in like a casino. But the challenge I think you're gonna have is the flux as you start moving forward. And as change happens, I do think when change happens, things get like a little bit worse, and then they tend to get better. Like when you first start working out, you start getting really sore, and then you recover from the soreness, and you're like, well, that was really awful. I don't know that I want to do that again. But obviously, the more you work out, the stronger you get, and it like impacts, and then you'll get less sore. But you have to go through like dips and struggles. And then when you get back to normal, it may feel like, oh, I should just stay where I was, stay at normal. And the challenge will be to kind of push through that for the betterment of your growth. And for surprises, maybe tied to this man coming in, maybe I'm seeing surprise internship maybe with the Eight of Coins. But probably more generally is during this time, I see you like finding a new passion or like hobby that you really enjoy, um, something that you're really invested in and move forward. So it's like a new fun little creative outlet for you. Um, and with the Strength card, the lion on it, I think you maybe are getting a new pet, or someone really close to you is getting a pet that you then get to love as an auntie-ness. Um, and seeing new animal companionship in this new year. Um, and these are both 8 cards. An 8 singles success, complexity or activity. I'm actually seeing like maybe a surprise success coming in. Like maybe you went to a raffle and you win something and you're just like, oh, it's like a lark, or it's like for nothing. Um, and I'd be like, oh, it's like a throwaway win, but it's just sort of something like a little fun thing that you're successful on, that you weren't expecting. So that's what I'm seeing for your blessings, challenges, and surprises. And now we're going to pull 2 Moonology Oracle cards for general guidance to help you navigate this transit. So first we have North Node, step out of your comfort zone. And we have New Moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. So with the New Moon card and the North Node, it is about a new start for you. In the guidebook for this, one of the ending sentences is that we have, in order to discover new oceans, we have to be prepared to lose sight of the shore. And I think that is the energy of what you're coming in. You're like, oh, I have this thing and it's good enough just to have. But as you like move forward, it's important to be willing to let go of those things to discover new things. Yeah. And with the new moon in Virgo here, particularly now when you're in sort of your standard routine kind of energy, to build up strong habits so that as you move forward with this fiery passion during this Jupiter transit, you can be successful. Again, kind of delving into that patience. Virgo, it's an earth sign, so it's like slow but steady progress. So having routine, feeling the daily like benefits of everything will help, ground you during this very passionate and exciting time, as you begin to move forward, going after your desires. So, Pile 2, thank you so much for joining me today in this reading. It's been a pleasure to spend this time with you. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to hear about new readings, and also check me out on TikTok or Instagram for even more tarot content. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Hello, Pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me today in this reading all about what Jupiter and Cancer is bringing into your life. We're going to start out with these two oracle cards. Take a look at your general energy theming as you go through this and what area of your life is experiencing the most change. So we have 26 with hypocrisy, and we have 34 North Node future. We're also going to pull two tarot cards for that North Node card to see where you're entering the transit and how you're exiting it. So we have the Nine of Blades for your starting energy, and we have the Wheel of Fortune for ending energy. So just going to put this for a little bit, but I do think sort of these are all tying in this. Have three, the Nine of Swords is like a very anxious energy. And the Rider Waite deck writes person like crying in their bed. And with this hypocrisy card, it talks about how emotionally being down in a place can force us to tell this like lie to ourselves. There is something, like this person laying down here. Your higher self, this butterfly trying to connect and move you out of it. And I'm seeing Jupiter and Cancer being very like transformative. Right. In this deck you have the wheel and you have the elements around the wheel. It has like magician feeling energy to its iconography. And the idea is you're going from a mentally anguished state to the feeling of possibility, opportunity, and that's going to really move you. With the North Node being where you're seeing the most change, I would look at where the North Node is in your birth chart. Right, the journey from south to north is like from our comfort zone to new things. So in that area of your life, there may be something new that either you find or maybe something that you have been suppressing, something that you're not really interested in. Um, that moving on that journey can open up the feeling of possibility and alleviate this lie that you've kind of told yourself about the stagnation you are feeling. So we're going to pull some tarot cards to see what blessing, challenges, and surprises are coming towards you in Cancer season. Or not Cancer season, but Jupiter in Cancer. So for blessings, we have the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Challenges are group 3 facing during this transit. We have the Chariot, and we have the Seven of Swords. And what surprises are occurring for pile 3 during this transit? We have the Five of Wands. and the Queen of Cups. Okay, so for your blessings, you have the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So tied to this North Node energy, I think you are going to be seeing a lot of signs going to drawing you to a new creative project, outlet, that I think you're really going to like adapt to, like really quickly. I'm not saying you're going to be like Mozart if you pick the piano, but I think you're going to really attached to this new creative venture and move really swiftly with it. With the Knight of Wands, I'm also seeing like romantic connection. So if you're single, I'm seeing like a new spicy like love interest coming on, just a lot of passion and excitement. Or if you're in a relationship, maybe you're re-entering like a honeymoon phase. Like I'm just seeing a new burst of that romantic connection coming through. Um, so for challenges, you have the Chariot and the Seven of Swords. And so um, seven um, can signify change, evaluation, patience. And what I'm seeing on this is the challenge is like external. Um, People have really benefited from you being in stasis with, this like Nine of Swords energy, like hindered, not seeing the kind of vision for yourself because you have been easier to control, to deceive. So for you, pile number three, I think the challenges as you start to branch out and move yourselves towards your future and your potential. There are gonna be people, um, external people in your life here to we're gonna try and reassert control, and they're gonna like feed into sort of the um mental kind of conflict you have as you're sort of like stepping out into this um new venture of your life. Um and with the surprises for the year, it's kind of release the conflict. I think you're going to see you're going to enter into um if you address these challenges, you're going to enter into conflicts with, I think, people in your life that you'll be surprised about. um it's going to be surprising who is going to show up and fight this new version of you, this changed version of you. um Seeing people as colors. With the Queen of Cups, though, I think the surprise is also where you will be finding comfort. Um, I'm getting a very like motherly energy, so maybe a reconnection or an evolution in a relationship with a mother figure. And maybe a female mentor could be coming into your life. Um, think for less, but maybe a couple of you, with this fiery love thing, if you're in a committed relationship, maybe you might find out during this transit you are like becoming a mother. Um, Queen of Cups also just, yeah, represents a safe space. So while I think there are people in your life here who are trying to restrict you, um, safety in that way is going to come from surprising areas, surprising new areas, maybe. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing for your blessings, challenges, and surprises for the year. Now we will pull some oracle cards to provide any general advice for navigating this transit. So you have the new moon in Aries, time to take action. And the full moon in Sagittarius, look at the bigger picture. So these are both fire moons, and they're both really speaking to this idea of like action, like how if anything, spent a lot of time in your mind in this transit, um, where Jupiter is exalted, is a time to move forward. You know, being determined, self-assertive, and brave. I think the universe is encouraging you when you have a feeling to move on it. And as you move, the universe will move with you. Um, yeah, it's really asking you to take a step back from all the thinking. I mean, obviously it's important to have a plan. Um, and maybe it's worth like laying out, you know, the next 12 months, June to June and to see that, but it's also important um to take the steps. So, plans are nice, but it's the steps that we take that cause the most change in our lives. So, with that, I want to thank you for joining me on this reading. It's been a pleasure to spend this time with you. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to hear about new readings, and also check me out on TikTok or Instagram for even more tarot content. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Hi, Flora. Thank you so much for joining me today in this reading all about what Jupiter and Cancer is bringing to you. We're going to start with two oracle cards, one to show the area where you'll be experiencing the most change during this transit, and then one for your energy and theming for it. So we have 5 Leo shine, and we have 14 with tidy up. And for the Leo card, I'm going to draw 2 tarot cards to show where you're starting the transit and where you're going to end the transit. So starting the transit, we have the World. Go with these two cards. So we have the Magician and the Two of Rods. So pile 4 feels like you're in a real wrap up energy. Jupiter Cancer, I don't think it's going to lead to any big changes, news starts, or anything like that, at least from this opening themes and stuff. Feels like a close up, an epilogue to an era in your life. Um, the world shows completion, so um, you know, if I had to kind of give an analogy, it's sort of like the summer between high school and college or something like that, where you're done. Um, you've done a big thing, you've like closed out a goal, and now you're kind of like just enjoying and like being about the self. With the Leo card, I'm thinking of the sun. It's like the heart chakra. So it's Jupiter in Cancer is about you. Um, and I like, moving from the world, the magician, right? Essentially restarting the cycle. So this year, um, you know, June to June period, I think you're gonna really focus on yourself and shining and what is that next thing? I think you're gonna end it a little restless because you will be ready to start a new thing. Um, but I'm really seeing like a lot of this is basking, tying up loose ends to a major accomplishment for you. So um if that sounds like your energy, um, you are in the right pile. Um, so with Leo too, I'm seeing it, yeah, as the sun, the self, the ego. So you're going to see a lot of changes in who you are. I'm getting like, Taylor Swift and her like eras, where are you, how are you looking to present and shine and show yourself in this next uh, phase, this next segment of your life? Um, So now I'm going to pull tarot cards to look at your blessings, challenges, and any surprises coming up during Cancer season. So we have the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Cups for your blessings. Um, for your challenges, we have the Four of Swords and the Knight of Coins. And for surprises this year, this transit, we have the Death card. And we have the High Priestess. I think for a little bit. Okay, so for your blessings, Knight of Cups, I'm seeing a new romance enter your life, but not new as in, I think in another pile, I like, it was the Knight of Wands and it was like a new, like brand new sort of showing up, because the Knight of Cups is slower energy. So, I think if you've known someone or you have like a crush or maybe someone's had a crush on you for a while and they're transforming that relationship. So I think one of the blessings you're having is a relationship that you're having is, um, moving up. So if you're single, but you've maybe had a crush on someone or like you kind of been flirting with someone, moving to dating. If you're dating someone, you might be getting engaged, things about like that. So I see a blessing for you is um progress and transformation in a romantic relationship. For the Queen of Wands, again, I think this is tied to the change you're having um, in your son. I think you are radiant. I'm seeing you as the Queen of Wands, and your one of your blessings this year is you're getting just a lot more attention for your work, for your personality, for your like looks, your personality. Like people are being drawn to you during this transit. And I'm seeing, yeah, like a lot of you're just stepping into your uh queen confident era. For your challenges, um, rest. And what I mean by that is the Knight of Coins is like sort of the diligence, daily hard work to achieve your goals. The Four of Swords is about taking time, taking a break, meditating. Um, we saw it also here with the Two of Rods kind of at the end of this transformation because I do think it's going to be slow for you. It's going to be like easy waters. And I don't know if you're the kind of, it feels like you might be the kind of person who likes to go do the things, keep moving, new challenges. Um, and so this year might be a bit of a struggle for you because it's really going to push you to focus on yourself, really focus on taking that break, taking that space um, before you begin again. Um, so I'm seeing that as being like a challenge. And I think because at the end of this year, you have the magician. So I do think around the end of this transit, a new journey is going to begin for you. And so it's important that you having this time to rest, take the opportunity. Um, Otherwise, the rest will find you later at a time when maybe you are not wanting it to. Um, and so surprises showing up as major arcana, which is kind of your energy. Um, Rebirth. Um, a surprise thing that's going to happen is, um, like I said, you're sort of wrapped up. You aren't really seeing any like major changes, but I do think there's going to be one um, thing in your life that is going to end or transform in a way that surprises you. And I think the other thing that's a surprise for you coming up during this transit is your connection to spirit. I don't know if you already see yourself as maybe a little clairvoyant, clairsentient. You know, we were able to hear and see things in moments of stillness and silence. And so for this year where you're not going, moving on this goal, is you really connecting um and seeing a lot more like surprises and synchronicities. Like you think of someone and then they call you the next day. Um, you know, something stands out about an item in your home and then you bring it even though you don't know why and then it ends up being useful um while you're out on your errands. So I think the surprising thing for you in that front is your connection to your intuition. It's gonna get a little spooky, it's gonna get a little turn up to 11 as it were, and that like real connection. Um yeah. And so to end this reading, I'm going to pull two cards from the Moonology Oracle deck to just take a look at any messages to help you through this transit. So first we have Void of course moon, nothing will come of this situation. So we'll just keep. Gibbous moon, you're very close to achieving your goal. So the message from Spirit as you enter this time, it really is like a squirrel packing up for winter. It's the time to regroup. It is the time to reevaluate things. As you get ready to start the next phase of your life, you know, um, now's not the time to start the new project. It is the time of preparation. It is the time of resting. It is the time of packing. Like, you know, are you taking care of yourself the best? A lot of times, especially towards the end of a project, we can put off self care. Um, Now's the time to rebuild those healthy habits. Look at your relationships. Sometimes, in the thick of it, we don't see how people are sabotaging us or like holding us back. And now that you have this calmness, you can reflect and be like, well, are these people that I want to bring with me as I move on to this next phase of my life? Um, and I think with this void of course moon to your challenges, I think it is telling you like nothing's gonna happen now, whether you force or you don't, or you like force something or you just take this time to relax. So it is just a comfort from the universe that like there's time, you have time. Now is about getting ready for um this next journey, this next creation that you're about to move on to um after this. So yeah, thank you, Pyle, for joining me today. It has been a pleasure to spend this time with you. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to hear about new readings, and also check me out on TikTok or Instagram for even more tarot content. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.